A good Erev Shabbos, and for those that are fasting on today's the 10th of Tevet, an easy rest of the fast. Much has been written about the amazing character and strength of character of Yosef, how he was able to actually forgive his brothers for all that they did to him. Let's not forget, they hated him, they were actually going to kill him. At the last moment, they decided to sell him into slavery instead. And by selling someone into slavery in those days, it may, for some, have been worse than death. It would mean years and years of mistreatment that would probably lead to an early death as well. So how is it that 22 years later, Joseph could actually not only forgive his brothers, how could he embrace them? How could he actually say, come, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to become your caregiver. And I honestly mean it from the depths of my heart. Some would say, hey, Yosef looks around. He did very well for himself. He became the second in command in Egypt. And that's no easy task. And he thinks, listen, let bygones be bygones. I did very well. But I think that's kind of difficult. Even just because we become successful, we hold on to grudges. To maybe not hate, but to love? So what was it about Yosef that enabled him to really and sincerely forgive, forget, and love his brothers really sincerely? And the answer is offered in the very words that Yosef offers his brothers. He says, listen, guys, it's not you who sold me into slavery. It's not you who led me to Egypt, but rather it's God. God brought me here. And what Yosef was telling his brothers were that from the get-go, I felt a purpose. I felt that everything that was happening to me, although it was happening by your decision, was being governed, observed, and wanted by God. And if that's the case, that means that there's a calling here. You know, it's interesting that in Hebrew, the word for purpose is tafkid. Tafkid means, what am I here for? What's my purpose in life? You know, when you have two Hebrew words that share the same letters, the same root, it's not by accident because Hebrew is the holy language. There is another word in Hebrew that many of you may have heard from being in Israel, that's mifaked. Mifaked means a commander, someone in charge. And I was thinking that those two words are interrelated because Yosef's success came about because he believed that there was a tafkid, because he believed he had purpose, because he believed that everything around him that was happening to him had meaning. Therefore, it didn't make him into a victim. Instead, it made him a mifaked. It made him a commander. He was able to be in charge of the things that were happening and to ultimately utilize them to their utmost. Every time something happened to Yosef, he saw the tafkid. He knew deep down there was purpose, and that encouraged him, and that enabled him to become a mifaked, to become someone in charge. So, to find purpose is not a sellout. It's not just to give up and say, this must be happening for a reason. On the contrary, when you find purpose in life, it tells you that it's time to take charge. Have a great and amazing Shabbos.